Hey, Dana, it's Ed Easton Jr. from USA Today's Chiefs Wire. How you doing?
Doing all right. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me. And, I just obviously want to talk about your big event coming up with the Chiefs Kingdom tailgate at Flanker Kitchen and Sports Bar in Las Vegas. I just want to know about your involvement in that.
Yeah, I'm excited. Obviously, it's always exciting to get to Vegas. And then being that was the scene of our Super Bowl win this past year, it's going to be fun to get back there and play against the Raiders. Up until this point, who knows what's going to happen this week against the Niners, but that is also the team that was the last team to beat us last season before we went on the run to win the Super Bowl. So there's definitely always incentive to be in Raider Nation and play against the rivals in the Las Vegas Raiders. But then to be a part of that event with my former teammate Mark McMillan should be fun as well. So I'm looking forward to it. It should be a blast to get out there. There's going to be a lot of Chiefs fans, a lot of Raiders fans, and it should be fun to mix and mingle.
Definitely, and obviously it's a meet and greet that you're doing with the fans. How much do you enjoy just being able to talk to fans and just because they always have so many questions about like everything that happened back when you played. How much do you enjoy those moments?
I love it. I mean, we created an atmosphere. The Hunt family, ever since I played in the early 90s, created an atmosphere of embracing the community, still working in the community. I'm part of the Chiefs Ambassadors, which is a group of former Chiefs that are still here in the Kansas City community and doing work where I was just at an event last night where I spoke to a bunch of teens about my journey through high school and college and to the NFL and beyond, and signing autographs and doing all of that, and obviously being a part of the radio broadcast for the Chiefs. This is my 5th season there. I know there's a lot of fans that want to interact about that dynamic and partnering with Mitch Holthus, who's been here for 31 years as the voice of the Chiefs. So I love that stuff. I feel like that's what I signed up for as a player. You kind of know what you're supposed to do, what the fans love. They are so intricate in the success and the existence of this NFL franchise that you can't help but want to give back and mix and mingle whenever you can and have some fun and laughs as well.
Definitely, and you're such a big part of the history of the Chiefs. And, just talk about your tenure playing from 93 to 98. What do you remember most just from that time period? And, obviously time period with Joe Montana and so many players came in and the franchise was back on an uptick. What was your thoughts just playing during that time period?
I tell you, it was a surreal experience coming from the University of Iowa and then just coming 4.5 hours down south to Kansas City. Didn't know what to expect, but as you mentioned, I walked into the locker room the same season. We acquired Joe Montana and Marcus Allen, already having Derek Thomas a few years later, drafting Tony Gonzalez and playing with so many Hall of Famers. I was drafted with Will Shields, who's also a Hall of Famer. So there's so much history here that it's been great to be a part of. And even though I can say I was part of the greatness in the heyday in the 90s, obviously what they've done in recent years kind of surpasses those times. But I'm proud of this organization, proud to be part of it. I've made it my home. My wife and I are both from New Jersey. And the fact that we made the decision to stay here in Kansas City tells you a lot about how we value this community and how the community has embraced us. I mean, I don't know if there's very many other cities that will be able to boast about embracing a guy who played 30 years ago and started his career 31 years ago, and yet still I can walk around town and people still have love for me because I wore that jersey and played for this great franchise. So I don't take any of it for granted. I know it's definitely a blessing, and it's an honor as well, but it just tells you about the passion that the fans have here and their willingness to still embrace us as former players, even though I haven't worn a jersey in 26 years now.
That's just like, it's a testament just to the impact that you're making on the community, continuing. I just actually want to ask your thoughts on just a moment from your career. What do you remember most about that touchdown pass from Marcus Allen back in the '97 season? I don't know if there's something that stands out about that moment.
Yeah, it was great. We had practiced it for a few weeks before, and for it to be Monday Night Football against the Pittsburgh Steelers made it even more rewarding. And for a guy that had a few starts at wide receiver but was mainly known for my special teams acumen and being a captain of the special teams for 4 of my 6 years, it was always rewarding to be able to get an opportunity to be in on offense and be intricate in the scoring drive. So that's a great memory. It's one of my highlights. People always ask me about what's the most memorable moment that I had. And it's tough because the first thing that comes to mind is a play like that. But then being in the huddle with Joe Montana, being a part of the AFC Championship, walking out. I got a picture in my basement of going to a coin toss as a captain. And in the picture is Joe Montana, Marcus Allen, Neil Smith, I believe Derek Thomas, and Dan Marino, because we were playing the Miami Dolphins. And to be able, I'm like, there's somebody that doesn't belong in this picture.
Oh, come on.
So for me to be a part of that and have that memory, it's tough to pinpoint one, because I was a part of so many great times and great memories that I can still recollect, and the Chiefs fans still remember. There's times where people will come up to me at the stadium, or if I'm at a restaurant, and talk about the 90s and some of the great games and Monday Night Football and winning close games and being a part of some great drives and the miracle at Mile High. Mm-hmm. That just made it so special. So all of it encompassed has been a true blessing for me, and it's been really cool to be a part of.
Yeah, well, you definitely more than belong in that photo. I just want to make sure that's put out there. I actually wanted to ask about your transition after you retired into broadcasting. Was that a difficult move, or I know obviously what you've done so far has been amazing, but the initial transition, was it tough?
It was a process. I don't know if tough would be the word, because I mean nowadays, and I don't cast any aspersions or any jealousy towards guys that go right from the field into the booth. But I literally climbed the ladder. I was doing Pop Warner games and high school games in the local high school and state championships. And then, doing some radio spots when guys were on vacation. And then literally just kind of by reputation, by continuing to grind, climb the ladder to get to a point where I believe I'm the only analyst, not the only personality, but the only color analyst that is currently a part of all 4 major positions in sports. When you talk about, I do college baseball for ESPN and the Big Ten Network, college basketball for ESPN, college football for the Missouri Valley and ESPN broadcast, Big Ten Network, baseball and football, and then I do the Chiefs. So to be a part of 3 sports that I grew up playing, baseball, basketball, football, and then having the incredible blessing of being in the booth for the only organization that I played for in the Kansas City Chiefs is really special to me. But I wouldn't say it was tough. I just said it was part of the grind, and I literally climbed from, I wasn't a big name. I played here. I wasn't a big name, so nothing was automatically given to me. And to be able to have that as part of my resume has been really, really cool.
I definitely I understand what you're saying. And I do want to ask, this is my last question, because like I said, I'm thanking you for taking the time. Just because you played right when Tony Gonzalez came in, and you see everything that Travis Kelce has done so far, and obviously what he continues to do with the Chiefs, in your opinion, is there something that separates the two, or you feel like they are like the same type of mindset, same type of player, because of just their greatness at the position?
Yeah, I think there's some differences between them. I want to say maybe Tony Gonzalez was more physically gifted in regards to big. He seemed like he was bigger. He seemed like he was, a bigger body, stronger tight end like the old school tight ends were. He was definitely very athletic. Travis Kelce has a little bit more wide receiver to him, a little bit more wiggle, maybe a little bit more quick twitch movement on the field. They're definitely, to me, the two of the top tight ends to ever play the game. And I've been fortunate to be around both of those guys. Patrick, with having the greatness at quarterback, even though Tony had Rich Gannon for a little bit, he had Trent Green for most of his career. Obviously those guys to me are not on the same level as Patrick Mahomes. So to have that luxury of having him and Alex Smith and being consistently, I think both of those guys, when you consider the wide receiving cores around them, you can say that they garnered a lot of attention because they didn't have those top echelon receivers around them, and yet they still were able to be dominant. So different ways, maybe a little bit more wiggle and wide receiver tendencies with Travis Kelce versus the old school, bigger, thumping, breaking tackles presence that Tony Gonzalez had.
Okay, I can definitely see that, just the different times and the eras and the way the game is played. So I can understand that. Dan, thank you so much for your time, and we're looking forward to the event. But once again, just thank you.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.
All right, take care.